Hi everyone, thank you for joining me. For me, it is an impossibility not to revisit Alex Syberia Design's gorgeous digital images. I have the perfect springtime card featuring these cool weather loving flowers in Alex Syberia Design's Slimline Pansies. As I alluded to, this is not the first time I've done up this sweet and beautiful image. Today's card is going to be Copic colored. I've chosen 4 different colorways. There are 12 pansies in this illustration, so I will be repeating each colorway 3 times. The pansy that I'm working on now has been done with R89, 85, 81, and 000. Doesn't matter what kind of flower I'm working on, my process is the same. The flower is broken down and I work at 1 petal at a time. When I Copic color, I work from darkest to lightest. So for this flower, I start at the base of the petal with my darkest red, which is the R89. The ink is applied starting at the center with little flicking motions working outwards. I then continue on with my next color, which is the mid-tone R85, and I begin applying the color right where that concentration of the dark tone has been lessened. For this flower, I have a second mid-tone, which is the R81, so I introduce that and then I finish off with my light tone, which is 000. The 000, like many of the light tones, actually can lift off some of the darker ink that has already been applied. It creates a mottled effect, which is pretty cool, but it's not the look I'm going for this flower, so I reapply the inks a second time. And for the second application of that light tone, I limit it to just a narrow band at the top of the petal. When considering the shadow areas for the petals, I always start at that base where the petal meets the center. But for those petals that are overlapped by another one, I follow right along the edge of where the petals overlap. And then of course I continue with my 2 mid-tones, which are the R85, 81, and finishing up with my highlight area, which is the R000. I'm using Copic marker 100, which is a solid black, to color in the black detail in the center of the pansies. The little stamen in the center of all of the pansies has been colored in with Y18. And as I'm working on the flowers, I'm noticing that there are some small background pieces that I'm also coloring in with the 100 marker. The blue pansies have been colored in with B16, 14, 12, and 000. Like the previous flower, the color is applied 2 times to each of the petals. Both the yellow and peach colored pansies are very quick to color as they only require 1 application of ink. For the yellow pansies, I'm working with Y18, 15, and 11. The peach flowers have been colored with R32, 30, and 000. All of the leaves are colored with YG 97, 93, and 91. This is one of my favorite combinations for leaves. The gray-green with its yellow undertone is a nice neutral backdrop for all of these colorful pansies. I start off with the darkest tone YG97 at the base of the leaf, but I also take it up through all of the veins. The mid-tone YG93 is introduced. That color is flicked upwards towards the outer edge of the leaf, leaving some white space to finish off with the YG91. So what you're seeing now is something that is not untypical for me. I went ahead and colored my background all black, and I liked it. I liked the dramatic look that it gave this grouping of flowers. But then after I'd done all that work, I decided that I wanted the flower panel to have some dimension and to be sitting on a frame. And so I ended up fussy cutting the entire thing. So thankfully, the outline of this image was not too complicated, and it didn't take that long to cut it out. The panel was popped into a protective box so that I could apply some fine spatter using a fan brush with Distress Stain Tarnish Brass. The largest die from Pink Fresh Studios Slim Stitch Scalloped Rectangles was used to die cut both matte gold cardstock and black cardstock. This die produces two frames, the outer scalloped frame and an inside scalloped frame, but I wanted to use it all as one, so I've replaced the gold inside panel with the black one and then taped everything together to hold it in place. The panel was adhered to a card base that measured 8 3/4 by 3 3/4 inches. I cut a narrow rectangle of black sheet foam and adhered it to the back of my pansy panel. And then it was adhered to the card base. I liked the combination of the black background and the matte gold frame peeking out from the edges of the flowers. Spellbinder's matte gold hot foil was used to foil one of the sentiments from Pink Fresh Studios' Fancy Script Words. This hot foil plate sentiment set also comes with accompanying dies. The sentiment was die cut and also black foam, and it was stacked. And after the sentiment was adhered to the card, I finished off the stamens with just a little bit of Nouveau Crystal Drops English Mustard. This addition helped the center stand out a bit more, adding greater depth to the overall flower. And that wraps up this card featuring Alex Syberia Designs Slimline Pansies. I love it that this image has been designed for a slimline format. There's no need to think about how it should be arranged on the panel. But because it is a digital image, it can be modified for any size card. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I appreciate your visit.